Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Xbox the Box, an Xbox podcast. My name is Mateus Reeve, and I'm with my good friend Alice. How are you, Alice?
Hi.
I think I pointed the
Oh,
wrong
good.
that way. Yeah, I pointed the wrong way when I on the webcam. I was like my good friend Alice, and I pointed to the wall, the wrong way. But it's okay.
Well, I think there was some embarrassing starts today. Like, I just almost like talked into the webcam, and I was just have to talk into this condenser microphone.
Yeah, you don't want to talk into the webcam. The webcam quality is not as good. We both bought we got professional microphones. I've used the webcam before, and it's not. No, definitely not. That's a no from me. So how are you doing today?
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, me
I
too.
mean, it's autumn
Yeah.
because we're just already like into the autumn, and I think we're agreeing a moment ago that it's actually our favorite season.
Oh yeah, for sure. We had a whole skit about how it's summer's too hot and I'm melting and stuff, but we kind of lost that in the record. But it's okay. Autumn is yeah, or fall for you Americans. Fall is decent. Yeah, I think we agree. I think obviously winter's too cold, summer's too hot. It is the Goldilocks of seasons, I guess.
I just find well, winter to be better than summer because in Cornwall it's just um like some of the Cornwall is just like you have too many cars going on,
Yeah.
and it's just like really difficult to travel around. So I'm glad I've made it to autumn. But even so, you still get travellers in Cornwall who are doing it on like September or October. But speaking of
Yeah, I
which,
mean
I got
Cornwall's.
these for like yeah.
I was gonna say Cornwall's a very tourist attraction place. A lot of people go there for like holidays and stuff. It's quite you can go like surfing. It's nice weather. Usually, a lot of people go. So I can see that being annoying because
Yeah, because it's just like you're living in like Disneyland.
yeah,
Like you're always going to expect tourists around, and you just end up living in one of the houses there. But um, speaking of which, I got these headphones there for like
ooh,
4 years, which I got in Plymouth. It's quite a pricey ones, but I still use them after those years, so it's just really good. The only
ah.
thing is that these are like wired, so I had to like wire them up, but still useful.
I like wired headphones. I always have a wired headphone. My dad used to live in on well, he still does sort of, but he used to live on Barry Island, which is now famous from the TV show Gavin and Stacey. So like everyone goes there all the time. So in the summer, it's impossible to get off the island. There was like one road getting in and off Barry Island, so it literally would always be rammed, and you wouldn't be able to get off it. So it's like because of the show Gavin and Stacey, it's such a popular tourist destination now, and it's like you don't
Mm.
want to go Barry Island during the summer. Yeah, so I understand completely where you're coming from. Um, so, have you been? So, should we get on with the show? So, I mean, what have you been playing?
Well, there's also none actually, and
Oh,
that's what's thing because autumn is supposed to be filled with lots of games, and as always has been every year.
yeah,
And I've already been burnt out
yeah,
because there's like Hellsinger,
ooh,
there's You Suck at Parking,
that's fun.
and there's Deathloop, and those games like that. I mean, I even like got off Paladins and even Halo Infinite,
Wow.
and I'm now like sticking to reading the books. So what I've been reading is on Writing the World Building by Timothy, which who does those Hello Future Me videos. So I've just like been learning about writing and build building, and it's just like yeah, it's very interesting.
That sounds interesting. Like I like world building. So it's like world building when it comes to obviously like fictional like stories and stuff. I suppose. So it's building up the. So it seems a bit more real because obviously you see read some stories and just like this doesn't feel realistic at all or feel like grounded in any kind of reality. So I could get what you're saying.
Yeah, that's right. Because the thing is, it's just like world building is, in simple terms, it's like building up the lore for your story.
Yeah.
And I know that I was like criticizing about worlds of certain shows, and it's just like it doesn't matter because it's just complete
Yeah.
fantasy. It's not like that. But then you have to consider that realism has to play in parts, so it just makes it more for the people's suspension of belief.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
so it's not like you have to like excuse it for like just it's just a mere fantasy. You don't have to take these things seriously, except like like if they somehow like make things up and then somehow you just got so into it and you feel as if there's going to be more detail, then you would expect some realism.
Yeah.
But when it comes to things that don't really take world building that seriously and just like creates a initial theme, then you just don't have to worry too much about it.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Like, I don't know, like, and sometimes like you need to have some kind of established, like even if it's fantastical, like it's magical and all this stuff, you still kind of need to have some kind of grounding so people know what the rules of the world are. I assume, right? So something's not going to be too
Yes.
ridiculous. Like 'cause sometimes when something's like too ridiculous, you're like, well, that don't make any sense, even if it is in a magical world. No, that's cool. That's interesting. I don't read enough books, to be honest. I probably should. I'm gonna start maybe doing because I'm dyslexic and dyspraxic, so I don't know if I've ever said that in the podcast.
No rush anyway.
So
Because
I always struggle with reading. It's I don't find it enjoyable. So maybe audiobooks might be more of a thing that people say I should be looking into. So that does sound like an interesting book.
just make sure that Potato is not associated with audible.com, so we're not sponsoring it.
Oh yeah. We're not sponsored by Audible, but Audible, if you want to sponsor us, hit us up. We will take. I'll totally take that sponsorship.
Or wait, Shadow Legends or whatever.
Or Raid Shadow. I'll take any. Yeah, Raid Shadow Legends. What was it Manscaped? Any of that stuff.
Probably some men's boxes, though.
Yes. So I've been playing Deathloop. I'm obsessed. I love this game so much. I think it's really good. It took me a couple of days to really figure out what I was doing, but as soon as I figured it out, I love it. It's so much fun. Like the best example I got is this one boss. He's hiding in like a secret room in the back, and then I got to him and he escaped, and I ended up losing the fight, and I'm like, no. And then the second time around, I was like, I know he's gonna escape, so I'll plant a trip mine where he goes out, and killed him. So I knew like so you memorize the routes and stuff. I was like finding shortcuts and like powers and stuff. I love the ability to hack turrets or turrets. So there's like loads of turrets around the map, and I always hack them so they're green, which is like my color. So basically, the enemies will be stood next to a turret thinking they're safe, and then he'll just turn on them and just kill them all. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
I love Deathloop so much. I was gonna. This is like a part of the question I was gonna ask you is, would you consider Deathloop eligible for Game of the Year because it came out last year technically, but then it also came out this year for Xbox. So it's one of those tricky ones, isn't it? Because it would be up there in my Game of the Year discussion. I don't think it beats Elden Ring, but it's up there.
Well, I don't know. It just depends on how you frame it. Like, if it's a top 10 Xbox games, it could be a contender, but I don't know. It's just because they're a year apart when it comes to releases, it's just like really difficult to say whether this will go in the Game of the Year or not. But to me, I haven't got round to playing it, and I heard some really good things about it, so
I love it.
I still have yet to get. Yeah, I still have to get my hands dirty with it.
It's a lot of
But
fun.
I heard it's actually one of. Yeah, I just heard it's actually one of the easier games to get 1,000 points on it.
Yeah, it's doable. The max gamer score is doable. It's just I just love like it's like you learn stuff by playing it and you just get better at it. And it's not super handholdy. Yeah, it takes a while. So basically, you want to get to the point where you can start upgrading your weapons and stuff, and then that's when the game really gets fun. I would recommend playing it. It's definitely worth playing. I love it. As I said, it would be in my discussion for Game of the Year, even though it came out last year. I mean,
well, speaking of which, I did play Fortnite, but it's only one match. And just check out the season while I'm waiting for the Halo Infinite shop to update. But spoiler alert, it's drab. But I just like mentioning Fortnite, play the match to see how it goes, and I ended up on the 9th.
I haven't played Fortnite in ages. I came first. I played it once when Thanos was like an event, and the person who had Thanos lost, and I won the match by default because he messed it up. So I was like, I'll take a battle royale win. I'm like, yay! I won by doing nothing.
I was going to mention a joke but it would spoil the Avengers Endgame.
Spoilers for Avengers Endgame. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah. So was I? I forgot to say it now. Yeah, Deathloop, amazing. 10, I would say 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10 up there. One of my favorite games of the year. Most fun I've had since Elden Ring. Yes.
And what about Prey?
Prey's up there too, but obviously again same situation. That came out years ago. That's not a new game. It makes me really look forward to Redfall though, because that's the next game by Arcane, and I've really enjoyed their last few games, so I'm really excited to play Redfall when that comes out. We have to play that together when it comes out for sure.
Yeah.
I mean that's like all I've been playing non-stop is Deathloop. I'm obsessed with it. I love it so much. Yeah, I mean, I also played Street Fighter, but we're going to talk about that later on in our topic of the show. Spoilers or teaser for later on in the episode, because we've got that to come up. So you've not played Deathloop yet. I would highly recommend trying it, though, for sure. For sure. Is there anything else you want to discuss what we've been playing, or...?
Nah.
So we can move on to the news. So in the news today... Grounded 1.0 is officially out, and it is getting really good reviews. It's got 83 on PC Metacritic, 82 on Xbox Metacritic, and I watched the IGN review, and it's got a 9 out of 10. So this is a very good game.
It doesn't have a lot of water though, does it?
It doesn't have too much water, no. It has a lot of ants and spiders in it. And if you watched our reaction to Spider Heck, you can see that I do not like spiders. They creep me out. I'm not a huge fan of spiders. I was like, Spider Heck, no, get this off my screen.
It's already out on Game Pass.
It is.
So I would have played it and just like talked about it.
Me too. I've downloaded it, so neither of us have played it. This is our news story, and we should be like reviewing it now and talking about how great it is, but neither of us have played it, so we can't really. All I can go off is what they said in the reviews, and everyone says this looks really good. It reminds me a lot of like Minecraft, like a survival style, and I love Minecraft, so I'm definitely gonna try it. I've got it downloaded now, so we'll probably play it after the episode finishes. Are you interested in Grounded?
Not much, really. I still got a backlog to catch up on, so...
Yeah. I think it's fascinating that there's only, like, Obsidian seems slowly becoming Xbox's best, like, first-party, like, developer. They're doing so well. We've got Avowed, we've got Outer Worlds, got Pentiment coming this year, and we've got Grounded 1.0 this year. Yeah, they're doing really good stuff, and there's only 10 people made this game, and it's doing phenomenally well. So
10 people.
10 people, yeah, and apparently that's what I keep seeing on Twitter is people going, "Oh, it's better than Ghost of Tsushima because it's got a higher Metacritic score." I'm like, calm down, guys. I like that. That's such bait on the PlayStation people.
Because I know it's possible, like in Unity, that if you get like prefabs and assets from the asset store, you can get like get a good 3D game. But when it comes to making things from scratch, I was once in a team of 8 people when I was like on the first Masters.
Yeah,
it was with Gamer Camp in Birmingham, and you do have like 4 programmers, and there's 3 of us as artists, and then you have a producer and a designer, and we only like got as far as like knowing just doing the 2D assets and even getting the gameplay system set up. So I just think it's just really amazing that unless they do actually get 3D models from other projects, then yeah, it's just like a huge humongous achievement. But put it this way, our project is done in like 3 months, whereas this one took like years for it to get to version 1.0.
It's true. We only just got to 1.0 now, and it has been out for a good couple of years now. But if this like I'm happy that Xbox lets people do this. If they just like go, oh yeah, you have free for free, you want to make a mini game, a little tiny game, like 10 people, you want to go off and do your own thing, like yeah, go ahead. I love that. Like let's do like. I would love like another 10 or 15 groundeds instead of just one more AAA game out there. You know, would love a lot of small teams to have the freedom to try some stuff. Like we're getting Pentiment this year, and that's also a small team as well. So I'm looking forward to trying that as well this year.
Well, the problem is that I know the technology should be sufficiently sophisticated enough to get small teams to create big games, but instead it just seems people are expecting people as if they have to keep delivering games that meet their really high expectations, and so much it's just like grounds the teams and expects people to have more powerful hardware. And speaking of which, Nvidia's just like announced a RTX 4000 series, and not all of the people have already got even an RTX card of their own. Some of them are on GTX 1070s. So I think it's just already like going into this huge bubble, which could burst and could end up crashing in terms of like expectation for resources. But speaking of which, the publishers are like, if you do anything less and you're just not doing any fancy graphics, then expect them to say, "Oh, this looks good as a mobile game." It's like,
don't want mobile game. I was gonna say you're saying about how the making big games. Grounded is a small game, isn't it? Because like you're tiny, you're in the garden. It's a very small game. You're 10 inches tall, so it's a small game.
Well, actually, no. Small games are usually up to 4 people. Yeah. But when you have 10 people, that's a medium-sized team.
That's true.
It's only the large-sized team. It's like you go to about like 20 people, and it just goes into extra sizes, which would illustrate the kinds where it's like a game, a double A game, and a triple A game. Yeah. And quite often they attract like teams of between 50 to 150 people.
But what about the fact that the game is you're tiny in the game and you're gonna fight you're gonna fight spiders and stuff? That's what I'm saying. You're like 10 foot. You're 10 inches tall, so it's a small game because you're tiny. And the world is huge.
10 inches tall, because that would be like double the size of the iPhone.
I know.
If you're 10 inches.
I'm just being silly, but yeah, no, I like the look of Grounded. I definitely need to play it. I'm downloading it as we speak, so that expect maybe a review next week. Maybe that might be something we could do. We're not really sure what we're doing next week, so possibly maybe that might be a video I could do. I don't know. Yeah, so. That's the big Xbox news for this week, but we still got loads of stuff to talk about. So, you wanted to talk about the pit from Halo? Is that what you wanted? You mentioned that to me earlier.
Yes. During the Halo Championship season, in one of their streams towards the Grand Finals at Orlando, I think that's what it is, or is it Oregon? I don't know. I think it's Oregon. Doing the 343 has teased that they will be revealing some Halo 15th anniversary content or anything of that sort. And then, during one of the streams of a match, there's a world premiere. And two teams, which I think one of them is Optic Gaming, I'm not sure, but they were playing on the map that's based on the pit from Halo 3.
My favourite map. Well, one of my favourite maps.
So I just saw it, and it's basically, from what it looks from it, like the work in progress tag, is that this one could well be made in Forge, which has purple and yellow bits with it, and it's just like lots of metal, which in comparison to the Halo 3 map, it's just like, it's not exact replica of it, it's just like something that's built in Forge.
Well, it'd be good to have some Forge matches. But this is what we've been saying for weeks, isn't it? Is that when we got Forge, we can actually have more maps going in and more content, more game modes and stuff, and actually build up some content for Halo Infinite, because it does feel a bit barren at the moment. So that's awesome. I haven't seen this. I'll need to have a look at this later then. So the pit is one of my favourite maps from Halo 3. And the fact that if you get it remade in Halo Infinite, that's pretty dope. That's good news if that's possible.
However, it will be released now
Yeah.
in terms of the Halo 3 anniversary on 25th of September. But there's also it's not going to be a no official date, which means it's not likely it will be released with the Forge beta, and will be expected it could arrive months after that.
Yeah, that's a shame. Well, hopefully it's hopefully sooner rather than later. But yeah,
It's just for this reason that many people have taken to Twitter and even like YouTube to make numerous videos and just like lambasting on about the pit and the decisions with 343, and I just feel like they're overstepping on their hate and their disappointment with the whole game, and it's just like a bit too much. But I think it's just like when you have a pit that's made in a map and anyone could easily play on it, that despite this like clipping with the objects and stuff like that, you can literally play on that map. But when you have something that is going to be expected to be released for months, it's just like trying to tease the people with that and then say, "Oh, you'll have this in the matter of months, not days."
yeah,
So I just think it's a bit embarrassing to say at least. And not only that, they're also complaining that it's the only map they've shown so far, which is one of the old maps to return, and yet you have like a Guardian recreated in Halo, and there's also a map that's based on the Guardian and Blackout, and you have those maps that's already made into multiplayer maps, and yet we're still made to wait whether these are going to be added to the matchmaking list, or even like whether the Forge is going to be like it's going to be released in November. So it just makes us worry. So if there's going to be more content coming in for it.
yeah. I mean, I hope so. Yeah, I don't. Well, I mean, obviously they probably got to game test it to make sure there's like no bugs or anything. Like if you step on a certain corner where your character just explode and fly off the map, and or like stretch or whatever, you don't know what's gonna happen. Like some random glitch, like putting one block in one place might do something. But if they got it working and everyone seems to be playing with it fine, I don't see why that would be an issue. You can have like maybe some like have an early access playlist or something for like these maps. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Yeah, I would kill to have some new maps on Halo Infinite because I love Halo Infinite so much. The multiplayer is so much fun. Just there's not enough maps and not enough content. If you can bring us some new maps and some new game modes, I would totally be sold. I'd be totally up for it. Do it free for
Well,
free.
in fact, this week the Entrenched returns, and there's like two content packages which you get a hazard type of pack for 1700, which is like released weeks ago. There's also the point thingy-jig that's got the checkerboard over the green stuff that returns. The only ones you can get are the emblem pack with just two emblem designs, and there's like a blue pack that's only got the magnum and the battle rifle, no, the shotgun. And this is based on the Lyok Steel, which is released in season 1.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the only difference is it's just adds this cobalt blue on some of the parts there. So it's just like you get a magnum that's like steel with an extra bit of blue, and you also got a shotgun coating as well as the coating for your Iron Strike armor of some sort.
I haven't been following the Entrenched at all. Is there a new battle pass for this, or is it the same battle pass that was given with the last Entrenched event?
No, it's just always the same because you only get like a free pass that's like 30 levels.
Yes, I've maxed
It's
that
only in the
already.
winter update. Yeah, because it's always going to be the same with the Fractured events. It's only in the winter update you get a free battle pass that's got 30 items in.
Yeah,
And I think that's going to remain for quite some time.
that's unfortunate because I've already maxed all my passes out already. So yeah, well, next time I guess we'll get the hopefully. Yes, I mean that's cool stuff. I mean I'm hoping we're gonna get some new maps. I mean we talk about Halo every week because we love it and we just want it to do well, and hopefully we'll get the pit sooner rather than later, and 343 can pull their finger out. We got some new people in charge. Maybe this is the start of something new. Fingers crossed. So next up is our EGX memories. So this weekend I went to the Electronic Gaming Expo with my good friends in the PlayStation, in the PS We Trust podcast. Spencer, Davey, and Phil, and we just played Street Fighter for the whole time we were there. But we had a good time in EGX. You've been a couple of times, I've been a couple of times. I went in 2014, and obviously I went this Sunday as well. So you wanted to discuss your memories of the event and how you've seen it before.
But first of all, is this Street Fighter 6 the only game you played at the EGX?
Yeah, that's all we played. We queued up 3 times to play it, and we played it against each other multiple times. Yep.
I just tend to play the game and then move over to another game, and that's just what I did in EGX. 2009, it's you go to the different venue. I don't remember what it is, but it's definitely in London.
Yeah.
But I just went in there. It's just the closest I would ever get to the EGX is in 2008, and you need tickets to get in there. But 2019, which is next year, I believe, is where I played the likes of Bayonetta, and I don't know if I played Red Steel 2, but those are the games I've played. I also went to the games industry. It's just just saying, look around, game pamphlets, and there was this guy who was a game designer or some thing, and then it's just just shake hands, it's just stuff like that. I thought, oh, that guy's nice. So then I just asked about game design questions, and he was he just doesn't look as if he's confused or thought it's a bit weird for me to ask those kind of things.
Oh, okay.
And I was saying about making board games as part of a portfolio, and he told me to say, just don't use copyrighted stuff.
Oh, that makes sense.
So therefore, he just doesn't really it just seems as if he's not particularly interested in me or some sort like that. So
yeah,
but
so I was gonna say the only reason we only played Street Fighter is because that was the only real thing that there was new there. They had Wulong Fallen Dynasty, but the demo was on the actual Xbox. They had Call of Duty, but they've been playing the beta online, and then everything else was old stuff like Splatoon 3 and stuff like that. So that was the only new game they had there that was unavailable everywhere else. Street Fighter 6. There was Sonic Frontiers, but the queue was so long it went around the booth multiple times, so we didn't queue up for Sonic Frontiers because it was a 3-hour queue.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't believe it because Sonic Frontiers is just probably not interesting.
No,
but
that's
I think
why we
because
didn't queue for it.
Because it's an open world Sonic game and it has some different elements in it, and people are so interested to see if the game's going to be good, so they just queued up for it.
Yeah, we did enjoy ourselves though. We had a good time in the EGX. So yeah, in 2014 when I went the first time, I went there for Super Smash Brothers, 3DS. So I had the demo on my 3DS, which had 4 characters on it. So I played that on the coach to EGX. Then queued up in EGX to play the full version of the 3DS Smash Brothers, and I ended up playing Little Mac, and I literally lost my first match within seconds because Little Mac is crap. And I didn't know that at the time. I just flew off the side of the map, and you couldn't get back. So he has no recovery. So I ended up playing a little bit of waited ages for Smash Brothers, played a little bit of that. And then I played a bit of Bloodborne, a bit of WWE 2K14. It wasn't a lot I played there that time, but I did really enjoy myself. It was a good time. But again, there's a lot of stuff that was already out. They had Destiny there, which was already out, and I was already max level. So why would you queue up to play Destiny when you could already play it? It was weird to me. I mean... And then, so this time around, I queued up, did Street Fighter mostly. I also bought myself a mystery box. I don't know if you saw that. I shared it on the Twitter. The mystery box was a gaming mystery box. It was mainly Rooster Teeth stuff. So I like Rooster Teeth, but it was supposed to be a gaming box. It was mainly Rooster Teeth stuff. I got the DVD for Laser Team and Red vs. Blue Season 11. Got $1 Million Butt Card Game. What else did I get? But then I got Space Invaders toy, Assassin's Creed the movie. What's it called? What they call Pop. Yeah, I got a Pop figure. See, this was in my mystery box.
Yeah.
And this was also in my mystery box. Assassin's Creed mug. Assassin's Creed 3. So there's a load of Assassin's Creed 3 stuff and a load of Rooster Teeth stuff, which is really random. Come on. Gotta reach it. There we go. Funhouse BD.
Yeah. Yeah, can you mention again how you got the mystery box? Because I was sort of trying to look for some Eurogamer stuff.
Yeah. So that's what I got at EGX, is a nice little mystery box. 20
Oh,
quid.
right. Did you get any Ruby stuff?
No, surprisingly. I thought there'd be some Ruby stuff in there. There's all Rooster Teeth stuff, but there was no Ruby stuff. It's weird. You think Ruby's like...
Not very promising, though.
Yeah, it was I quite liked the box. It was a fun box. It's like I said, thank God I'm a Rooster Teeth fan, because if I didn't like Rooster Teeth, I'd be very annoyed, because everything in there was Rooster Teeth, or like half of it was anyway. Yeah, so I got...
Yeah, because it's just really interesting, because Ruby is supposed to be like the heart and soul of Rooster Teeth.
Yeah.
And they like doing like podcasts. But then it's just like really interesting that you have things like Red versus Blue and Laser Team. But then then again, the mystery box is a mystery box. Yeah. Some of the boxes contain Ruby's
maybe it's
hats, but sometimes you don't.
Yeah, maybe Ruby is just more popular, and maybe that's sold out stuff. So I feel like the mystery box is stuff they can't get rid of, so they just chuck it all in a box and sell it off separately.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So I got the Funhouse beanie, the Assassin's Creed mug, Assassin's Creed Pop, a Space Invaders figure, $1 Million butt, yeah, Red vs Blue and Laser Team. Not bad for 20 quid, to be fair. Got my money's worth. It was a decent box, so I was quite happy with it. Yeah. Do you have any other memories from EGX?
I was gonna say about like 2013, where I've been there and I had a much nicer trip. I saw like Dan LaRoche and the Co, who's like showcasing, I think it's Cube for the Wii U, and that's in the Nintendo booth. Didn't get to meet them though, but I just went over to saw Thorium, and that's where I met Mike Biffle. It's like, oh my gosh, it's just amazing. Like, yeah, you just like played some like was it the Thorium, and it's really interesting. And I think I played a few indie games there, but it's sort of the reason I went to the EGX is because back then I was doing some journalism for the games website.
Yeah.
So I took some notes on the games I've played, and wow, it's just like so much to go through. So I just like written an article which I can talk about the stuff that's introduced, because Xbox One, I think it was about to be released.
Oh, wow.
So I just got some really good stuff there. Like, for reference, I'm like more biased with the PlayStation stuff back then.
Right.
So, but I just went in and I'm still like really impressed with some of the Xbox stuff. So it's just quite nice. So now it does have like a cherry presentation stage, and I think it's just where there's like an Xbox thing in the middle with the green stuff. And I think I got the photos for that. But I think it could have been the same expo where the community came in and just like being transphobic. But I don't know if that's the same event. But I didn't really check it out. So I just made notes where there's a new console which I saw and there's games.
Yeah.
And I've got a notes I got, which I got in an article. It says that ahead of this new controller is said to contain over 40 new innovations.
New controller.
Still remains in the new Xbox Series XS controller.
Oh, all right, fair enough. Never got a chance to.
I just said. Oh, wait a minute, there's more to that. It's just like it is said to contain over 40 new innovations, which sounds to me like a chicken drumstick with secret spices.
Ooh.
Catchy as it is, I got a chance to play in the controller doing Forza 5 and later Dead Rising 3, and I instantly felt smug with it.
I've not had a chance to play with the Pro Controller. I might need to buy one. So
Well,
Forza
it's
5. So
definitely
that was not Forza Horizon 5.
But-
Forza 5. So that is about what 14? Did you say 2014? Yeah.
Look, it's a standard Xbox One controller. It's not a Pro Edition.
Oh right, yes. Oh right, okay.
Yeah, because I did tell you that it's an Xbox One. It's coming out soon.
No, you're right.
And it was for the first time they revealed the Xbox One controller. They haven't revealed the Elite Series controller until a bit later in the lifeline.
No, you're
of
right.
Xbox
That's my
One.
mistake. My bad. I went to. So this is an EGX, but I went to an Xbox event in game in Newport, and they had the same setups. They had Dead Rising and they had Forza, and it's like, ooh, check out the rumble triggers, which has never really been a thing since. Like no one's really cared about them at all.
Yeah. Well, funny
yeah.
enough, there's like rumble triggers in the 8-bit Do controller I got. But anyway, before let's consider this.
Yeah, keep going. Yeah.
Now, for reference, I'm like more interested in the PlayStation 4 back then.
Yeah, me too.
And here, it says here, the controller is very comfortable.
Ooh.
The handles are more relaxed. It feels less bulky. Well, it felt less bulky. Or feels, I don't know.
Yeah.
And the functions worked brilliantly with the gameplay. D-pad seems to have been improved a bit, though the thumbsticks may feel quirky after playing for some time. And that's coming out with me being using the Xbox 360 controller.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell the feel is sort of different. Plus the D-pad's like... But anyway, they do have a grip ring on each one of them, so I can keep the thumbs on well, which is ideal for long-time playing sessions. And yeah, that is true, because PlayStation 4 DualShock 4 thumbsticks do slide off over time.
Yeah, they do.
So when I went to the Xbox One controller, it's just like, it's really hard for your thumb to slide off because it's got the grip around the thumbsticks.
Yeah.
So it's really good.
With the PS4, I broke 2 PS4 controllers by wearing down the nubs, by wearing down the
Yeah.
joystick. So I totally see that. Yeah, Oof. I've never broken an Xbox controller, but I've broken multiple PlayStation controllers. Ooh.
Yeah. Now, the top part of the controller makes up for the strongest difference as compared to the Xbox 360 controller. It's in glossy black, which contrasts to the matte finish body, which is good because since it doesn't easily attract dust and dirt. But that's not all, as the bumper buttons and triggers have been redesigned for comfort and more like spread out. Even that each one of the triggers is added with a slope, which makes it feel good for your fingers. Speaking of triggers, each one of them houses a feedback motor, which rumbles when, for example, you shoot with a gun.
Yep.
And it says so they feel like rattling gear pedals to me as I drove through Forza 5.
Yep.
And then I say like that I enjoyed holding the controller as it's comfortable and lively. And even like saying how nicely designed it is. So, and it's just a step to me saying, oh, this controller is just much nicer to hold than the DualShock 4. So yeah, it's just how I got with it.
That's funny.
Now,
I was gonna say it's funny that because like with the PS5 controller this generation, it's all about how they got the adaptive triggers and stuff, and like it's the same bloody thing. It's like, oh, it's not the same thing, but it's like ooh, look at that new feature. It's like, yeah, the Xbox had that and no one used it, so.
Well, I think it can be thought of as like, I think it was an advanced rumble that you get in the Joy-Cons,
Yeah.
and they make it sound as if it's supposed to add a bit of extra friction when it comes to doing the triggers on the DualSense 5,
Yeah.
but whatever.
A lot fast.
Anyway, oh, get this. Yeah, so the games I got there, the main ones that I played are Forza Motorsport 5,
Yeah.
Killer Instinct, and Dead Rising 3. So it says here, I got the behind the wheel, the controller for the latest entry in the Hot Racing series.
Very clever. Yeah.
And then it's just like, when I first saw the trailer of the original game, it features realistic vehicle physics and damage and car customization. Yeah, it's just it's like, it added in positioning lines and the ability to rewind the race, which all of it looks impressive for the first time gamer.
Yeah.
Honestly, I haven't previously played the earlier titles of the series as far as I remember, but it looks like a seriously slick racing game, and I'm sure it demonstrates lots of new stuff in the final release. So, Forza Motorsport 8 is coming out, and I think it's going to blow anyone's socks off.
Oh yeah, for
and,
sure.
And there's like the rewind and the line there.
It's still there.
It's still present, and even like Forza Motorsport 7. Well, I mean the Forza Horizon 4 or some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still they've still got that Forza Horizon. That's kind of a big quirk of theirs is the track lines and stuff. I could not wait for Forza Motorsport 8 or just Forza Motorsport is they've got rid of the 8. It's just but it's like a reboot of the series. I'm really looking forward to it. That's coming out early next year, so fingers crossed that's going to be awesome. Nice little racing game for us guys for the Xbox crew.
I did like write longer paragraphs for the other games. Like Killer Instinct is like one of the first games to come with the Xbox One, and it's been unheard of since.
Yeah.
That's because the original developer of it like had to work for Amazon and had someone else to work on to complete the rest of the game. So what I wrote is I've jumped inside the sheltered booth for the forthcoming game Killer Instinct, which will arrive on Xbox One at launch as a downloadable title. There were 8 units in display, 7 of which were given 2 arcade thumbsticks each. The game, as I have expected, runs rich graphics at 60 frames per second, and the demo did contain 4 playable characters. The game is quite fun to play, as it's fast and upbeat, and the controls are slick. And it just goes on to say like how easy to do like combos and combo breaker and those things, and it's just like really accessible.
I love that.
And I think we can like definitely use this for a comparison with Street Fighter 4.
Yeah, I was gonna say gonna have to when I get to my Street Fighter preview at the end of the episode, is like we could go like almost compare them side by side what you just said, which is hilarious. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, so and then I just went on and thought it would be really good, which I didn't recognize, is because I remember like going in there, and it says here I was able to win the game against the person next to me 3 times, meaning the game, well, was not really difficult. It's not really difficult for those who played fighting games before. However, it may not be for everyone, as it seems too easy to master. I mean, how do you find Killer Instinct?
I really like Killer Instinct. It's such a good game. I really want a Killer Instinct 2. I don't know why. Like, come on, Xbox, do it. Killer Instinct 2, make it a bit more of a crossover game as well, bringing more Xbox characters. But like Master Chief, and Dom, and Marcus, and then Captain Price when we get Activision, and Crash Bandicoot. Let's just get them all in there. Killer Instinct 2, do it. Make it happen.
But that would not be called Killer Instinct, though. It would be called Super Xbox Rollers.
It should be Killer Instinct versus Xbox. So it'd be like Marvel versus Capcom. So have all the Killer Instinct characters on one side and all the Xbox characters on the other side. That'd be sick. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm giving you ideas.
Anyway,
printing money, Xbox. This is printing money. Take my ideas. This will make you money. Do it. Captain Price.
I just went on this.
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
I just went on to say like every button is pressed and it relates to all of the attacks, so therefore it works better on the arcade stick, which I ended up buying for my Xbox. So it's because it's very, very useful for Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
But I went on to say that overall, Killer Instinct is likely to be a cult classic and a very good one.
It is.
If I happen to buy the Xbox One soon, then buying this game will be one of the first things I do with the console. It's really good, and it's not likely to disappoint any people. And this is what literally I did. I just went in and bought Killer Instinct for like Xbox One, and yeah, I played the heck out of it.
Hell yeah. And as you said, it's a cult classic. It's funny that you say it was a cult classic, because like that's literally what it is. Because it's not like a lot of people don't. It's not super popular, but people who love Killer Instinct love it. You know, they're like, whoa. It's just like, Because like I was talking to the PS3 Trust guys on the Car 2 EGX, and I mentioned Killer Instinct, and they all say how they really enjoy Killer Instinct, but obviously it's not on PlayStation. So I would love a new Killer Instinct. Yes, Xbox, do it. Yeah, I mean it's funny that you mentioned all this stuff. It's like it takes me back to the launch of the Xbox One, and I was Team PlayStation at that point because of Don Matrick completely messing everything up. Yeah. It's funny that Jim Ryan's a complete idiot and people defend him. But when Don Matrick is a complete idiot, everyone is just like, boo, Don Matrick.
Yeah, that's pretty fun, but we're going a bit off of Wales for that. Sorry about that.
That's alright.
Dead Rising 3 is what I did next, and what I've written in there is it's another Xbox exclusive found in Nintendo. Well, no longer, I think. And it has attracted one of the longest and most grilling queues of the event. I stood in queue for up to 2 hours before I went on to play the game. But was it worth it? Yes, it certainly was. Yeah, it's really long. Yeah. And I even stepped in the hill with someone and then you just turn around and say, stop doing that.
It's just like... I hate people like that.
It is London, because if you just try to almost bump into people or just try to look around, they get a bit agitated and tell you off. But however, there's another moment is when I was queuing up for Killer Instinct, and it's I was trying to talk about those things, and when I went in, it's make sure you don't have any flash photography stuff like that. So I just went in, took photos inside, and it's oh no, don't do that. So I don't know if I still got photos of it, funny. But I think it was meant to you're not supposed to take photos inside of that.
Oops.
but then Dead Rising 3 in the queue, and there's a bunch of people who are dressed up as zombies, and it's oh really impressive zombie actors there. So, or they could be zombies.
So good cosplays. They always have good cosplays in EGX. That is a good thing. Spencer got a picture with someone dressed up as Cloud. He seemed very happy. So,
anyway, I played the 15-minute demo of the latest entry in the series. So it just went on to say really detailed graphics, and the controls feel natural. And it just goes on to say it uses the same winning formula, and you can have a crafting table. You come up with new things like vehicles or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I said I went on to say it's a real treat to those who purchased their Xbox One.
Yeah, it's interesting to think actually, because as much as I love my Series X, the Xbox One did have a much better launch titles. The titles they had with the Xbox One launch is pretty insane actually. Forza 5, Killer Instinct, Dead Rising 3, Rise Son of Rome as well, I think was also at launch. The Xbox One had some killer launch titles, I must say. It's just a shame Don Matrick completely sunk the bloody company.
Well, I've also written the last paragraph of this thing is because of time constraints, I wasn't able to sample every game in the Xbox area. There were booths for Rise Son of Rome and FIFA 14, but the latter has a section for people to get photographed and appear on the customized box cover for their copy of FIFA 14. Kinect Sports Rivals was also an event where people played mini-games of Kinect. They have shown me that Xbox One Kinect has improved, where they can recognize hand gestures useful for scaling rolls and riding on jet skis.
Ooh.
Xbox 360 games, including World of Tanks, Super Tycoon and Fable Anniversary, were also playable at the event too. So, and that's it.
Nice. Tight notes. Yeah, so I mean, Rise Son of Rome, very fun game. I enjoyed Rise Son of Rome. It was a bit repetitive, but it's enjoyable. Definitely worth playing. Yeah, they had a killer lineup for Xbox One, I must say. Now thinking back at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, but we were all PS4 at the time. We were PlayStation, Xbox.
Well, as you mentioned, I also did a handful of PlayStation 4 stuff, and actually not so much, but I certainly played a bunch. So I just talked about the DualShock 4, and let's see, it took a huge step from the previous DualShock incarnations, and it it may feel like small and have a sports-like rugged exterior, but it still feels like a lovely improvement over the PlayStation 3 controllers.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like, yeah, it says here, I tried to review the Xbox One controller earlier at the event, and I said it's comfortable and has a nice touch to it. By comparing it to that Microsoft Gamepad, DualShock 4 is much smaller, allowing more room to use all buttons and get used to it easily, though they may not be suited for larger hands. But I have to fence it on this matter for now, because honestly, both of these controllers are great and a joy to play with. They just happen to be in the different shapes for different gamers.
Yeah.
However, by comparing it to the... Yeah, it's just like... Well done for me not being like biased back then, because I just like... I love both of these controllers, and yeah, it's definitely the truth.
Yeah.
So I just went on for the multiplayer match with Killzone, Shadowfall. I played Knack, and honestly, that is really good.
Wow.
Then I played some indie games, which is Resogun, very good.
Very good.
And also Ho Ho Come, which is yeah, it's just like interesting.
Heard of that one.
But I haven't heard much about it.
Resogun
But
was
it's
a
just
sick
like
game, though. I love Resogun. My legs are gone numb now. What's wrong with me? Okay.
But there's also like Octodad, Drive Club, War Thunder, Playroom, and there's also Warframe, but I didn't check it out. But yeah, the Warframe, yeah, it's definitely at the PlayStation booth. But there's also like Assassin's Creed 4 as well.
That was the game I got with
that's
my
definitely
PS4. Assassin's Creed 4 was the game I got with my PS4, and Resogun, obviously, because that was PS Plus at the time, so...
Oh, there's a funny story with it too, that because I went to Killer Instinct and I think I was expecting some freebies.
Yeah.
I just went in, played it, and I just realised like, turns out I haven't got anything.
Yeah.
And then one of the organisers just gave me this Xbox strap to put around my neck, and I think I still got that, which
nice.
is still very nice.
That's nice.
I also got that PlayStation 4 like neck strap too, but when I went to the PlayStation booth, I got my Xbox thing on. A guard came over to me and said to me that because you got this Xbox thing, you would be easily be taken out of it. So then I said like, do I just need to take this Xbox thing off? And he said, yep, do that. So I took it off, and I think I may have swapped out for the PlayStation 4 then, but I still kept that Xbox neck strap. So
That's mad. Console wars.
well, actually, I think it's just a case of like, oh, we don't want to see someone from Xbox playing over there.
Yeah, you dirty Xbox player. So is that all the EGX stuff we had to discuss? Because speaking of console wars, we had a big shots fired during the console wars. So I mean, the console.
There's of course like, I have to stress that there's also the Oculus Rift. There's Pokemon XY, which I rated in Q4, and there's also a bunch of reused stuff there. And actually, I think I read stuff about like Sonic Lost World.
Oh God!
I also played the Tropical Freeze and Bayonetta 2, which is cool. But it says here Sonic Lost World. I bet you go on the latest Sonic game, and let's just say this is a fantastic sequel to Sonic Colors. It's closer to the classical game Sonic Extreme than Super Mario Galaxy. And yeah, I just went on about it, and I said it was a very good demo.
Typical Sonic.
However, it's not particularly well received, don't you think? No. Sonic Lost World?
No. I know, Sonic's not been great, to be honest. Mario's always been superior. Team Mario. Woo.
But anyway, that was like about, how do I put it, 9 years ago.
9 years?
And
geez.
yeah. And that was held in the Earls Court. And I think, is it held in that same venue as well?
No, it was the Elect Arena or something. Yeah, it was.
Oh, Elect Arena. Is it in Birmingham still?
No, it was in London. London.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it took us like 4 hours to get into London, so that was fun. It was a long drive. It was like 8 o'clock in the morning. Drove there, played Street Fighter for 4 hours. drove back till like 1 a.m. in the morning, so that was fun.
Wow.
Dedication to the cause. My camera's gone.
Yeah, there's a bit of an echo on your end, though. But they were competing after all. So how's that going to make it different? Is it going to be like Nintendo and Sega in 1993? Oh.
There you go. My microphone's back, I think. Sorry, my microphone cut off. Yeah, so they wanted you want competition, you can get competition. Like, you know, they're like scared about losing Call of Duty, but then they're also like talking about how like Xbox is not competition. It's like for the entirety of the Xbox One generation, Xbox have been kind of like a sleeping giant. It's like they have the money, they can do what they need to do, and now you've woken the sleeping giant. Now you're gonna regret it, I guess, because now they're gonna just do what they could just destroy everyone if they wanted to. They have the power, you know. I think it's good competition, but what do you think? Do you think it's going to be good for competition having Activision under the Xbox banner?
Well, I just think that Xbox needs to get ahead with it and just get the Activision deal sorted out, because
Yeah.
I think it's been going on for so long and even gotten some legal intervention.
Yeah.
And it's just like, is this getting real childish? Like,
Yeah.
Xbox is going to buy Activision. They are doing, well, they're just about to close on a deal. So that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's not likely to get stopped. And it's like, they basically, like, we're like saying we want to compete against PlayStation. We're third place. Let us compete. And that's pretty much what they're saying now. It's like, yeah, let us compete. Why aren't you letting us compete? Why are you blocking this deal? You know, I know they're scared about losing Call of Duty, but like they got Destiny, they got other shooters. You know, it's not the end of the world if you lose Call of Duty. The Switch hasn't had Call of Duty for years, and like they're still the most successful console on the market. So, you know, get over it, PlayStation, I guess. I think I was just interested to hear that it's fascinating. For years and years and years, it's been come by like Phil Spencer going, I can't wait to play God of War and all this stuff, and now they're literally at each other's throats now. The console wars are back, baby. The console wars are back. Way Sega do what PlayStation, Sega do what Nintendo don't, right? That was the old Sega one, right?
Yeah, I think it will be like, don't be so sad and Sony gave Microsoft.
Microsoft do what PlayStation don't. Oh no, shots fired. The new home of Call of Duty.
Well, actually, it should be Xbox does what Play shouldn't.
Hey. Yeah, I suppose it's an interesting story that Satya Nadella just come out saying he wants competition with PlayStation and to let us compete. It's interesting that he's basically calling out PlayStation for their hypocrisy. It's interesting, and I really want to see where this goes. I'm really just hoping that the Microsoft deal goes through, and then we can just, you know, the Activision deal goes through even. I want Call of Duty for free on my Game Pass. I don't want to pay for Call of Duty. I want to play it, but I don't want to pay for it. God damn it.
Well, there's a few games I'm interested in, which I still feel as if I may end up paying 50 quid for it.
Yeah.
But now it's going to be like much more expensive because the American dollars went against the uh, the British pound. They're
Yeah.
going to be so equal for after so many years. So
Ridiculous.
we may end up having to pay more for our games.
That's bad. No, I'm sticking to Game Pass. It's the prices of games are getting absurd lately, and I'm so grateful that we have Game Pass and Xbox. It's like if I didn't have Game Pass, I'd be so sad right now because I've got so many games to play, and it's just such a good deal. Yeah, I love it. I know we talk about how great Game Pass is all the time, but for good reason because me and you we're not the richest people in the world. So it's good to keep us financially stable and still have like a catalog of games to play and keep us in the loop, you know. So I'm happy. I'm very happy to have Game Pass and let's get Xbox, let's get Activision in the bag. Let's get it done. So that's that. Shall we move on to my topic of the show?
Do it.
It is time to talk about Street Fighter 6. I played Street Fighter 6. It was awesome. Thanks for watching. See you guys. No, I'm joking. They waited the whole episode to hear me talk about Street Fighter and then just turn off. No. So I played about Street Fighter for about 3 hours, 3 hours. We queued up, and I went out there 3 different times. We queued up 3 times to play it. They said you have 3 games each, and we abused that system royally. We just sat there until they kicked us off 3 times. So I got to play against Davey. I got to play against Phil. I got to play against Spencer. I got to play all 3 of them, and I got to play all 3 of them for about half hour each. I actually have footage, which I'll try and put up now. Of me playing. I play Ken. That's my main. I played all the characters in the demo. They had 8 characters. And as I said, I mainly played Ken. They had 4 stages, and it's Street Fighter, baby. That's what it is. It's like quarter circle back, quarter circle forward, punch, kick, Hadouken, Shoryuken. I want some pound cake. You know, I want some pound cake. And
Patty cake. You should do that in Nappa voice because he did that in Dragon Ball Z.
I want some pound cake. Vegeta now. Shoryuken.
Patty cake. Are you the patty cake champion?
Patty cake champion. But no, Street Fighter. Oh, it's so good. I mean.
Yeah.
If you like, so I recommend listening to the PlayStation, the PS Retrest guides because they know a lot about fighting games. They're like, this move comes out in frame 6 and it hits this much percentage, and you can do this angle and all that. I'm just like, I have no clue what even any of that means. I'm just like, ooh, Ken looks pretty. He has nice colors. I like the colours of his outfits. I'm not super analytical when it comes to fighting games, so bear with me. I do apologise if it's not as technical as you would like. But the characters are really fun. The guys said that it plays more like Street Fighter 4 than Street Fighter 5, which I do kind of agree with, from what I can tell. You have a new charge meter, a counter meter. What else is there? There's so much stuff that it's like Ken and Ryu play like Ken and Ryu, so it's like back circle kick to do your spin kick, forward quarter circle punch to do Hadouken, and then Shoryuken, which is like the uppercut. They play very similar to how they always play. They had Yuri, Guile, and then a couple of new characters. It was a lot of fun. I won a couple of matches, but they basically destroyed me because they're all fighting game aficionados. They love their fighting games on the PlayStation podcast, and and we got to play. You were saying with Killer Instinct, there were some setups with sticks, like arcade sticks. There was a couple of those. I didn't get to try them. I only got to try on the PS5 controllers. So they have PS5 controllers.
The DualSense 5.
Yeah, the DualSense 5. It was fun. I think I prefer it on an Xbox controller. The loading times were really good. there wasn't very much loading at all. It was instantaneous, but it did say in the bottom corner of the screen, it said A button, even though we're on a PlayStation controller. So it's either running off an Xbox or running off a PC. I'm assuming it's running off a PC.
Yeah, it's probably for the PC because back in the Eurogamer 2013 event 2, there's like Need for Speed Rivals over there.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's got DualShock 4 controllers. Then the news article popped up and just heckled it, saying, oh, this is actually run on PC, not on like PlayStation. And I think that's what's the case there with Street Fighter 5.
Yeah, so it was running on. So it was running on a PC. The loading times were very quick, but I'm assuming the loading times will be very quick as well on the SSDs from the Xbox and the PlayStation when you get the full game. It was so polished and it ran really well. Like I couldn't see like I feel like this game must be close to launch, or it must be nearly done. I don't like. Capcom have got Resident Evil 4 remake coming out early next year, but I feel like maybe Street Fighter might come out just afterwards, or maybe even before it. It felt so polished. I can't see it having much more left to do. I didn't experience. I played it for about 3 hours and didn't experience any bugs, any glitches. The loading was fantastic. The graphics were really polished. The gameplay was fantastic. I think. Rest assured, if you're a Street Fighter fan, you will enjoy this game because it feels and looks like Street Fighter and it plays really well. As I said, the guys were saying it's very similar to Street Fighter 4, which they said was the best modern Street Fighter. It's got like the paint stain stuff like you would have in Street Fighter 4. It's like where you do certain attacks, it looks like paint's coming off you and stuff. It has that again, which is really cool.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was like watching the gameplay of Street Fighter 4.
Yeah, it's very pretty. It's a very pretty game, and it's next gen, and I'm looking forward to playing it.
Also, I seen for the video that there's a bit of a techno in the soundtrack, and I think it's very similar to like Mega Man 11 because if you listen to OST of it, you just get some like electronic bits into it, and it just sounds really good.
We couldn't really hear we couldn't really hear anything because it was obviously we were in the event and it was loud, people just talking and stuff, so we couldn't really hear any of the music. But we had a lot of fun. But I will take you in for that. I think that sounds good if that is the case. I don't know when to expect it next year. I'm going to say probably early next year because there can't be much left to polish on this because it does feel like a polished product. They could release this now and it would be fine, I think. It is very, very
well they already got the beta out, so I think they're just basically getting people's inputs and see how they get on with the beta. The online matches, because I think even the game is almost complete, they still need to make sure they iron out a lot of bugs to do with the online matches.
Yeah. I mean, we've got Tekken 8 coming out next year and Street Fighter 6. So this should be a good year next year. Fighters.
Well, I asked you another question though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Did any of your folks said like how it compares to Street Fighter 5?
So they're saying it's much better than Street Fighter 5. That's what the guys said. I'm not very good at judging it, to be honest. They're saying that it felt more like Street Fighter 4 than it did Street Fighter 5, and they're saying that they're trying to sweep Street Fighter 5 under the rug and make sure it's like forget that even existed, almost attitude. It feels like 4.2, I guess, or like 4 again.
Yeah, because from what I gather is that Street Fighter 5 tries to revolutionize the gameplay and focus on more like on combos, but I think it just ends up becomes more complicated, and it ends up like tries to take it a bit too seriously. Like they put ads into this whole game. Also, it comes out only for like PC and PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
So it looks as if Street Fighter 6 could well be the true sequel for the Street Fighter 4.
I believe so, yeah, and that's what as I said, the Phil Spencer and Davey know much more about fighting games than I do, and they were saying that they were impressed. This is a return to form for Street Fighter, and they can't wait to play it. They were all very, very impressed with it, and they were very happy that we went to play it. I enjoyed myself. as I said, I'm a bit of a noob. I'm not really a street. I'm not a fighting game aficionado. I don't know all the technical stuff, but from what I played, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was solid. I played a bit of Street Fighter Five on my PS4, and I never really liked it. I enjoyed Street Fighter Four, and this does feel more like Street Fighter Four to me as well. But I don't know the technical terms and the technical timings and all this stuff. But the guys did say they really enjoyed it. Uh, they played different characters. I was Ken the whole time. Davey was Ryu. Phil was Guile, and Spencer was Yuri. And we all had a good time. They beat me most of the time because they're good at fighting games. I'm not. I won a couple of matches, so I'm not too upset. And they didn't perfect me that often, so I was worried that they were just going to perfect me every match, but they didn't. Yeah, the combos, as I said, it feels like Street Fighter. I mean, that's the best praise I can really give to it. If you know how to play Street Fighter, it's like, as I said, quarter circle back, kick, quarter circle forward, punch is the finishes with Ryu and Ken, and they play the same way as they always have. It looks
so
pretty.
What's Street Fighter 5 like? Is it like the same way you can do that?
I haven't played that much Street Fighter Five, to be honest. I've played a little bit of it, and I think so, but I don't think it's as smooth. I don't know. I feel like they tried to change too much. Apparently, as I said, I'm not the expert when it comes to Street Fighter Five, but Street Fighter Six, I'm sold. I'm probably gonna buy it, and I'm not much of a fighting game fan, so I'm totally in for it.
I feel the same way, but my only problem is it's just going to be quite expensive to buy because I think it would sell more than like 40 quid, as I imagine.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be £70, I imagine, and it's probably not gonna be on Street. It's probably not gonna be on Game Pass because it's got PlayStation support paid for all the marketing and stuff for it. So yeah, probably wait for it to go on sale myself personally. But if you like Street Fighter, I would recommend playing it. It's a very, very, very good game, very solid. It's, as I said, return to form. I feel like this is the best Street Fighter since 4. I know there's only been one between 4 and this, but you know what I'm saying.
Now, I've been having a look around, and so to add to this whole topic,
go ahead.
There's an Xbox fighting sale, which is on right now, which could be going on for about 2 weeks. So the closest you ever get to Street Fighter, I don't know about many others, whether there's like Street Fighter 4, but the closest you ever get is either Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. But you definitely get savings on like Tekken 7, Mortal Kombat 11, as well as Dead or Alive 6. So, for instance, Mortal Kombat 11, you get it for like 12 quid.
Yeah.
Definitive edition of Tekken 7 sells for like 23 to 74, and I think you can get it cheaper as a standalone. And Dead or Alive 6, the digital deluxe edition, which normally sells for like 70 quid, you can get it for £17.49. And Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is 8 quid.
Nice.
There's also Dragon Ball Fighter C, which used to be sold for 50 quid. It's now sold for £7.49 minus the DLC.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then,
you can play on Game Pass as well.
Yeah. And also Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear are both coming to Game Pass next year. They were announced during the Tokyo Game Show. So if you're a fighting game fan, you got all them, Tekken 8, Street Fighter 6, lots of really good fighting games coming to Xbox the next couple of years. Killer Instinct 2, come on, make it happen. Get a fight stick.
Well, there's a bit of a weird thing though, that apparently Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is slightly more expensive so far than Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, which is like £6.59.
Infinite's not supposed to be a very good game from what I've heard. That's probably why.
No.
It's a downgrade.
There's also there's also One Punch Man, and I think it's My Hero Academia, My Heroes One's Justice, which sells for less than £10, as well as Override. And there's Persona 4 Arena, which is a fighting game, for about £3.59.
Wow.
And Tekken 7 is like, you get it for 6 quid. And there's Virtua Fighter 5 Showdown for like 3 quid. Virtua Fighter 2 is like £1.69, and there's Soul Calibur 6, as well as King of Fighters 50. Well, this one sells about 37.49, which is 25% off, and you get UFC 4 by EA. And there's also some like DLC which you can get for different fighting games as well.
Right.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So I mean, just to round this off now. I enjoyed my time with Street Fighter 6. It was a lot of fun. The people who I know who are really into Street Fighter games said it's the best Street Fighter game in years, and they're very happy with it. They're very excited.
Plus, it's got a
very
really
excited.
good. It's also got a open world single player campaign where you get to fight people in the streets.
It's going to be
So
fun.
it looks it's really shaping up to be a solid entry in the Street Fighter series.
Oh, for sure. I'm very excited for it. As I said, the guys who I went with, they really enjoyed it as well. I think we're all very excited for it. We're definitely all going to be buying it. Yeah, I would highly recommend it. I would say like I had a very, very, very good experience with it. As someone who's not a fighting game aficionado, I still really enjoyed it. And for people who are really into fighting games and go to tournaments and stuff, they seem to really like it as well. So it's good for casuals and for hardcore gamers alike. I would highly recommend Street Fighter 6. And I can't wait for the full game. And it can't be that long away because it seems really well polished. And I can't see him having much more to do.
Now, I got a question for you before we can wrap this up.
Yeah.
Are you so? Given that Street Fighter 3D editions are like Street Fighter 4 all the way to Street Fighter 6.
Yeah.
Now, are you totally interested to see that same treatment to the Darkstalkers franchise?
I don't know what that is. Darkstalkers.
What, you never heard of Darkstalkers?
No. I think I've no, I don't think so.
Because that's where you get Morrigan from, who pops up in Gem Fighter and Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh right, okay. I don't know. Maybe I've never played it. Sorry, I wish I had a better answer.
There was a time where they were going to do the resurrection of the Darkstalkers franchise, and they're going to put it out as like Street Fighter 4, but what they got instead was like a re-release of all the Darkstalkers games into a one package, and it was basically by Capcom to see, oh, if you like this game and you bought enough of it, we could make it, but then they didn't notice it hasn't sold well, which ironically is actually the sixth highest selling game of, I think it was March 2013, and people were interested in it, and yet they expect people to vote with their wallets, and then Capcom reckons it's not going to be enough. But now you just still get like lots of Street Fighter. It's really a huge staple of the esports thing, which ironically there's lots of different fighting games by Capcom in the 90s in particular.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, everything is fine. Well, we can finally get settled in Street Fighter because we tried to go for like Western releases and thought, nah, just stick to some same old franchises that everyone loves, and everything else that people seem to forget about, just don't worry about them.
Yeah, so I've never played Darkstalkers. I'll have to try it. I'll have to try it out. I'll let you know. I will try it out when I get a chance.
Well, you can get this in either like Capcom Fighting Collection, or you can get as a separate download as part of Capcom Arcade Stadium.
Alright, I'll have a look into that later, yeah. But yeah, so Street Fighter 6, highly recommend. Try it out. If you get a chance to try the demo, play it. If you get a chance to play it. Highly recommend it. I think it's going to be a really good game. Best fighting game I've played in a while, and can't wait for the full release. That's pretty much my preview of it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I might not be the most knowledgeable, but I tried to be as helpful as I could when it comes to it. I enjoyed it, so I'm very happy with that. So that is essentially the show for the week, unless there's anything else you wanted to discuss.
That's all.
Now, thank you guys for watching X Marks the Box. We're still quite low on subscribers, so if you want to subscribe to us on YouTube, we would really appreciate that. We would be really happy if you did do that. So thank you guys for watching anyway. And follow me on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter as well at XMarksBox. And until next time, just sweet. Later,
Bye.
guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to the X Marks the Box podcast. Follow us at X Marks Box on Twitter or X Marks the Box on YouTube. And follow us on all audio podcast services. Thanks for listening.